and many other clever words.
Clever words, eh? Oh. Right. That for a dagger, pretty much.
I can see my destination.
About that task. Get the cranberries. After a quick glance at the basket, Buchan grabbed a fistful of berries and shoved them into his mouth. A smile of delight brightened his face. Ah, fine berries, so fresh. You've been good to old man. Thank you. Here, take these potions. If you need more, feel free to return. We'll even give you a discount. What do you do with them? Yeah, mate, what do you do with them? Truth be told, as I've gotten older, I've gotten kind of particular and my appetite is almost gone. Everything I eat is particularly tasteless to me now. I can barely force myself to swallow a bite. Only thing I can still taste is fangberries. So I add them to my porridge, toasted meat. I even add them to my potions. When I run out of fangberries, I stop eating entirely. Svetlana tried to help me, the dear. She bakes pies for me, cooked me fish soup and stewed venison. But I just couldn't eat any of it. I was desperate. Those damn spiders had sucked the last bit of joy out of my life. If not for you, I pretty much have starved to death. Miserable to the end. Okay, pal. What a little petal, eh? What a little petal. A gnome in gaudy purple garb seizes your attention. Of course, the scoundrel Tartuccio. You know from your time in Restoff, the vile gnome is standing on a small hill, expressing his discontent in every way you can imagine.
Let me guess, you're still dawdling. Should I make some tea in the meantime? Bake a pie, perhaps? Plant a small garden and harvest some cherries? Perhaps you'd be more comfortable wearing fool's caps and colored trousers. Then at least I'd be able to sell tickets. Come one, come all! Feast your eyes upon the slowest and the most ridiculous buffoons in Glorian!
Oh, it's a joy to be around,
Why
isn't it?
hurry? The same end awaits us all.
Oh, wait, that's
Hold
all.
your tongue, gnome. I can hardly tell your twaddle from the buzzing of a fly.
Quickly now, if we don't find that artifact soon, someone else might seize it. Someone who's standing over there watching you right now, you fools!
Turns his angry gaze upon you. He nods to the guards to draw their weapons. Harem, I would be happy. Yeah, I'm going to go for Harem. I would be happy for you. See you among my companions. Your faith does not oblige you. Follow fools and liars that teach you.
There is as much vanity in your words as in the words of all who have not seen the wisdom of Grotus. Yet you
Grotus.
seem a worthier leader
Oh, I love
than
this
the
man so
arrogant
much. He's
Tartuccio.
got a great voice.
Perhaps in serving you, I shall open your eyes to the teachings of my faith.
I see my magnificent rival will stop at nothing, even at stealing the servants of his enemy. Let us see if your fools are even more useless than mine. Draw your swords and cover my retreat.
Try your side. I'm out of here.
Let us strike as one.
No fear!
Die, die, die!
Oh, no, wait. No, wait out. Ah. Blammo! Come to the slaughter. Fucking- Oh. Oh. How sweet the first breath of fresh air after the stale dark stiffness of that tomb. Before us stretched an unending heath, replete with hills and gullies, and patches of low shrubs. Already the trail of Tartuccio and his companions had gone cold. We would not give up so easily. Whether the trail went cold or not, it was one we had to follow. No blade of grass was bent. It must have had enough time to straighten back up, since whoever last passed through, but the heath dry earth preserved the prints of those shoes. Our eyes to the ground, we followed the trail. We walked and walked until finally we came to a huge gully, the dried up bed of a river of yore. What is this? At the edge, the grass was trampled down, and the soil turned up in claw prints, lots of them. We stumbled upon a fresh battlefield. And here the trail split. One set of footprints walked away from the battle and down into the gully. The brave footprints that faced down their enemies followed the path along. Trying to imagine who or what left these marks. The trail split one set. The claw marks were not deep. The attackers were small and lean, and more, these creatures walked on two legs. Finally, the form of the prince left no doubt in our minds. We stumbled on cobalt land. Tried to find any traces of magic in the surroundings. Discovered traces of a spell, apparently from the Illusion School of Magic, near where the lonely trail ascended into the gully. We stood a while and thought, then followed a single set of footprints down into the gully. The way down was steep, and it took some time to reach the bottom. Walking on the loose soil was difficult, but the clawed footsteps were easy to spot. The bottom of the gully went downhill, deeper and deeper. Finally the footprints turned, whirled up the steep slope, and disappeared at the gully's edge. We couldn't but admire the animal agility and clever claws of the creature we were following. The slope before us was as tall as two tall men, and ended at a hanging crest. Climbing such a slope would be no easier than climbing a sheer wall. However, a long, steady-looking rock stuck out of the ground from the top. There was one brave hero among us who decided to try his luck and climb that route. Really, Lindsay, the smallest person. After tugging on the root, Lindsay took a deep breath, grabbed it with both hands and began the difficult ascent. Pushing her feet against the slope and grabbing the root with both hands, she climbed higher and higher. Only her heavy breathing and the faint creaking of the root broke the deadly silence. Suddenly, dust poured down from the top of the slope, and the root began to slide from the ground. Losing her wits, Lindsay shifted her weight to her legs and froze. After a tense moment, she continued her journey and soon had reached the top of the slope. After catching her breath, she lay on the ground and offered her hand to help the next one up. After climbing out of the gully one by one, we easily found the clawed footprints again and moved forward. The air grew tense. We sensed that we were approaching our target, and our intuition proved correct.
Listen to me. A dragon, huge, sparkling, flew down to me from the sky and told me a secret. A great relic that will win the Kobold's glory is hidden somewhere nearby. Enough of this pitiful existence. Search for it. Search and bring it to me.
The leader speaks in the suspiciously familiar voice of the gnome Tartuccio. Glory Dragon, we know the mistress under the old sycamore who possessed the magic treasure. Very absent. Stop deceiving those poor reptiles, Tartuccio.
How? Here, you fool
I mean,
How did you know
try it,
that? How?
friend. Don't listen to his lies. I shall bring you to glory. Just help me find the relic and stop this trickster.
Trickster.
You've made your choice.
Do not falter!
They go down!
Repent!
Ah!
Follow him again. You just follow the guy. Suddenly I walked inside the house. Dogs were howling fiercely, not far away. It smelled like burning, the wooden walls were steaming hot. The smoke was withered beneath the low ceiling. Looked out of the window. The instant he approached the window, the glass broke and an arrow hit in the chest. Falling, he glimpsed at a dozen dark figures standing outside, his eyes dimmed. Tom's skin felt cold. He heard the murmur of the water and the soft lapping of the waves. After opening his eyes, he saw a rocky river bottom at the bloated body, tangled in green water weeds. The drowned man's empty gaze was fixed upon him. The drowned man's mouth opened slowly, and a hoarse whisper said, "Weak river, Tom." At the moment Tom finally awoke, drenched in sweat, he told us what he'd seen in his dream.
I must replenish my powers.
There 10 attempts, folks. 10 attempts. Managed to get. Holy moly. Hello there. The corpse's face is bloated for being so long in the water. The stench from its toothless mouth is so foul that your eyes begin to water. The hand clenching a sinister looking spear is covered with scabs. Suddenly you feel faint, as if a cold, wet hand is placed upon heavy on top of your head. Wet hair sticks to skin and trickles of icy cold water run down your face and shirt. A hoarse whisper rises inside your head. And there you are. Oh, so this is a nightmare. So it was you who sent me this nightmare. Churgling, deep-chested laughter pierces your skull, clouding your vision and flooding your ears. All else becomes muffled, so as if you are trapped underwater, you shake your head to cast off the apparition. Who are you? Davik Nettle. A storm of bright images flashes before your eyes. A long time ago, this person, then a living man, came here from Ravoy, constructed a rope bridge, built a house and lived in it, collecting payment from those who crossed the river. You see a vision of a lovely spring day, sunbeams shine warm against your cheeks. 3 men approach the house by the bridge, one of them wearing an antlered helm. Staglord. Angry faces, cornel, the glint of an unsheathed sword. Suddenly the Staglord's greedy eyes are twisted by surprise. The master of the house has unsheathed his hounds. A burning spell stirs you awake to the sound of loud barking. Flames are crawling up the walls, the sounds of breaking glass, the bitter cold night air. You are outside. Outside the house, something is wrong. An arrow strikes deep in your shoulder. You hear the guffaw of 10 throats. You run. Already in the middle of the bridge, the man in the antlered helm cuts one of the ropes. An ear-splitting scream fills the air. You see a vision of a man wearing an antlered helm. You hear a muffled groan, and the helm drops to the ground with a loud thud. Your hands are covered with hot blood. Too much blood. Death to the Staglord. You hate it when someone asks you to do something that you were going to do anyway. It makes you want to. Alright. Well, I shall meet your strangers upon the stag. The drowned man who'd sitting motionless nods his head. Come later, take the spear. Can't let me get a spear. Okay. Oh, let me get a spear.
I can see.
Ooh. Oh, a dark-haired bandit is kicking the ground irritably. When she sees you, she squares her shoulders and clenches her hand at you. Well, who's here? Easy now, I'm not here to blanket the stolen lands with corpses. Lower your weapons and let's talk. I won't kill anyone who leaves the Stag Lord's service or is willing to help you find him. Think about it. If you really the leader, you're ready to die. Your words seem to have impressed Cressel. She frowns for a moment and spits. Fine, I won't cut your throat. For now, at least. I also won't kneel to some rest-off upstart. Why would you? Try to make peace. Are you just naturally kind, or have you been listening to Svetlana? Well, yes. Is it so hard to believe I simply might not want necessary bloodshed? You know, life hasn't been so good to me. Why should I trust you? Alright, here's my piece. The Stag Lord's been spending more time keeping an eye on the bottom of his glass than on what's going on around him. If you won't answer an insult from some rest-off crook like Jim and Mandy, then you're right. You chose the wrong leader. So go ahead, do whatever you're going to do. I won't stop you, but I won't help you either. Here, give this to Svetlana. The bandit places a ring in your hand.
Focus on the goal.
What else, yeah? Jhod. You see a dark-haired man of about 45, though the wrinkles of his face make him look 60 at first sight. He's currently a prisoner, judging from his kind hand. He slouches a bit, squinting short-sightedly at the light as he moves his lips as though speaking to someone invisible. He jerks his head up as he notices you. Praise Esteril, someone finally chased off those scoundrels. Thank you, stranger. My name is Jhod Kavken. I'm a priest of Esteril from Gaul. These bandits attacked me as I was crossing the river. Said they wanted to take me to their leader. May make me heal their wounds with a chance. The strength granted me by Esteril, Everstill, is meant to help honest people, not robbers. How did you come to these lands? I was led here by visions sent by the Elk God. Everstill showed me that somewhere in the wild lands lies the Temple of Elk, an ancient shrine, forlorn and desecrated. I saw the ruins of the temple and the shadows of Predator lurking in sorcerer's form. I felt the echoes of the vicious rituals performed, the once blessed place. I pulled out, Everstill revealed all this to me, so I could stop the ungodly sorcerer that descended this temple. I don't know. Legends, even divine ones, are often vague and unreliable. I know only that the temple is somewhere near, in the Nar marshes, but I'm afraid I won't be able to find it myself. With bandits lurking around every corner in this place. Alright, I'll release him, I guess. He rubs his hands. Oh, these times, he'd be surprised to meet an honest man as to see a manticore ate at a vegetable stall. Thank you for your help. I've exhausted my supply of prayers, but I'm glad to repay you in the future, once I've restored my strength. Come to me if you ever need to be healed or bled. I'm afraid an old fool like me won't be able to handle the mission given me by Esteril on my own. How can I search for the temple when the bandits around here won't let me take a single step? I'll head to Olag's to rest and think on what to do next. Please, traveller, if you happen to discover the ruins of the Temple of Erk, come inform old Jhod. My gratitude will know no bounds. Yeah. Okay. Written orders. Crystal, a task. As soon as you're done, you're gonna find an old hut in the woods upstream of the Thorn River and burn it to the ground. This is the Stag Lord's wish. He literally said burn, burn. I was originally going to be Dovin. Let me say that again. It was originally going to be Dovin, but he grew upset when he learned nobody lived in the hut. He said the burning houses was no one and none was boring. So I said I send someone more reliable. It's a strange task, but try to finish it quickly. And no asking what the why bother with the trifle instead of preparing for war with Roster. We'll get to that. The notes of a travelling priest at Iliac. Imagine this, a girl, whose name I shall not disclose, comes to town and immediately purchases the most expensive suburban villa. The newcomer spends unfathomable amounts of charity, even returning several tragically perished citizens to life at her own expense. She's very young, her rough speech and manners indicate she's not of noble birth. This leaves the whole town wondering, how did this young lady come into possession of such a huge fortune, and why does she spend it so eagerly? These secrets were revealed to me when I was invited to the mysterious girl's house to provide healing services. The young lady reluctantly displayed something she had been hiding from everyone: terrible acid burns. She forestalled any questions with a single word: Iliac. Never heard that name before. The monstrous black dragon dame was well known in the River Kingdoms. She lived in the region for hundreds of years, inspiring terror and emptying settlements. Many experienced dragon hunters attempted to put a stop to her, and all perished. No one knew where Iliac's lair was, or where she would strike next. The woods Iliac acid breath left on my patient's body was terrible, but her soul was hurt much worse. The girl and her friends had found the lair of the dragon. They could have gathered hunters to destroy the monsters, but they instead kept silent in search of profit. When the lair's mistress was absent, they would carry treasure out, little by little. Iliac suspected something was happening, so she set an ambush for the thieves, and they were dealt with cruelly. My patient pretended to be dead, surviving while the dragon devoured the bodies of her friends. She had much gold left at her disposal, but it came with the burden of memories that recalled devastated cities and countless people burned by acid. Unable to tolerate the guilt, the girl tried to atone for ill-gotten gains with good deeds. I was able to heal her physical wounds. When we parted, she told me she planned to spend the rest of her wealth organising an expedition to Iliac's lair to end the beast. I recently heard rumour that the villa had been abandoned for quite some time. It's possible the owner left for other lands, but my heart tells me her bones lie in the lair of Iliac, that winged terror that plagued the River Kingdoms.
I will guide.
Aye.
Applause, please.
Aye. Find a cache under the clothes and blankets. Opening lid of a small hollow, you find a full box full of bottles. An inscription on the side reads, "Wine for the Stag Lord. If you dare steal it, wolves or I'll make you rot." Your past check. Poison the wine. Poison the wine. I don't know what I'll do, but I guess we'll find out. We're done now. Listen, well, since you dispatched the bandits with such skill, maybe you can help us with another trouble. There's a feral swine living here in the woods, not a normal wild pig. We're talking about a vicious boar, as big as a bear and wicked as a devil. The locals call him Tusk Cutter, Many hunters have lost life and limb to him. Beckle Bezin found his lair and went to kill the beast. Came back with one leg. We put a bounty on the boar's head, but it looks like there aren't any heroes around here bold enough to claim it. Maybe you will rid us of this monster. Hey, you're better than the local weasel. Wussies, right? Wanna bet I can chop off this tusk-cutter's snout with a single swing? Come on. Alright, let's go. Amiri gives you a wide grin and slaps your shoulder. Right, that's the way I like it. Let's go. There's horses. There's stuff to sell. Anna, I got your ring. Good day to you. Do you need anything? I'm happy to help. Here's your ring, Svetlana. Kessel gave it to me. I even managed to convince her not to fight. He sighs bitterly. I suppose I should tell you the truth about her. Kessel wasn't her real name. Her real name was Irina. Before all this, she was the daughter of my mother and her second husband, my half-sister. I can't help but feel like everything that happened to her was my fault. She always had a wildness to her, who wandered the streets, hanging out with the bad crowd. Until the day she passed, Mother complained about Irina constantly. Back then, it was just cruel games and strange escapades. She never really hurt anyone back in Rishton. Her father didn't live much longer than her mother, so I decided to try to help Irina. I brought her here to the Stolen Lands, though Oleg was against it. Once here, she immediately fell under the Stag Lord's influence. She never even needed to meet him. The stories and rumours from looker hunters and bandits were enough to win her over. He would tell us how he was a real leader, unlike rest of softies. Eventually she ran away, only to return under a new name with a pack of thugs and collect taxes from us. What's worse, she participated in the torture and execution of prisoners alongside the Stag Horsemen. Sure. I don't know if there's any way to set her back on the right path, but I'm grateful for your kindness. Perhaps there's still hope. For the sake of my mother's memory, I like to believe it.
How may I serve you?
Jeffrey says, do you offer? I can sell you various divine spell scrolls. They're quite useful, even if you don't have anyone in your party who can read them. While you're in this settlement, or indeed any place with a cleric willing to help, you will only open your bags and choose the scroll you wish to cast. I'll be happy to read it for you. However, take care out there in the wilderness. A scroll is useless without someone who can read it. To use a scroll on your journeys, you need a spellcaster whose magical training covers such spells for someone skilled in magic. It'd be nice to have this information when you're on hard mode, eh? You have to switch it to, again, easy mode to get these little things. Tell me about the vision that led you to the temple.
That's why I'm here. Find the Temple of the Elk. I've pieced together its location from what I can remember of my visions. I have a rough idea of where to look for the sanctuary, somewhere in the North Nile marshes. However, I don't possess the strength to walk this path myself. But do not reject my plea, good traveler, and I'll repay you as best I can. In these dark times, people rarely help each other without compensation. May Erastil forgive us all. But I am sure my healing abilities will be useful to you. How may I serve you? That's why I'm here. What is there to understand? The gods do not send us visions for no reason. We must go to the temple. Then I believe we shall discover the true meaning and wisdom of Erastil's will. As you wish. What exactly would you like to know? My story? Why not? You deserve to know it. I am a priest of Erastil, and Galt is my homeland. You can imagine what it's like following the teachings of the stag god in a realm torn by discord and strife. Rebellion and suspicion are the pillars of Galt, Led by Erastil, I tried to guide my flock to embrace tranquility and balance and guard them from hasty judgment, until I fell from grace myself. Foolish, foolish old Jhod. My misdeeds cast a shadow over my life and service. In search of redemption and a balm for my soul, I took to the road. I had come nearly to despair when Erastil sent me a vision of the Temple of the Elk. I knew that very moment that the stag god had shown me the way to redemption.
What did you do to angle
Well,
Erastil?
if you truly wish to know, I'll have to start from the long time back. Werewolves preyed upon the lands around my village. They murdered people for fun or sport and left the corpses to rot on the roads. One night, they broke into a young woman's house and dragged her into the streets. One evening, a traveler came to our tavern, tattered and dirty from days on the road like so many others roaming Galt. He sat quietly in the corner of the tavern, drinking cheap ale, and in an instant, I knew he was a werewolf. I felt it in my soul. It was like Erastil himself had whispered it into my ear.
Smiles, but his eyes are dead as
Led
stone.
by Providence, I left to gather my flock, and we surrounded the tavern. The retribution was swift. However, I was tragically mistaken. The young man was no werewolf. He was a bandit, sent to spy on the village by one of the local gangs. We only found out after, when we went through his things.
I want to change my alignment.
Whatever the case, I knew Erastil was no longer pleased with me. It was terrifying.
God's voice wavers. Even now, one can glimpse inside him. The remnants of the horror he lived in.
Imagine how my mind raced when here in the Stolen Lands I heard the voice of the stag god once again. He gave me another chance at service to atone for my guilt. Now I have regained hope, and that very hope is my most precious possession.
What can you tell me about your
For
home?
some, it is a land of freedom, where power belongs to the people, not to lords or kings. For others, it's a land of never-ending revolution, a realm surrendered to anarchy. It depends on who you ask. For me, I found Galt a violent place. Crowds eager to lynch a stranger for that accent or appearance, where a single word uttered at the wrong time or place can spark the people to riot and cities to burn. For me, it is a place inhabited by the frightened and the desperate, always suspicious, watchful of trickery. All too often they are deaf to the voice of reason. They cannot grasp that chaos and lawlessness lead only to yet more chaos and lawlessness. All my life I've tried to break through to these poor people, but alas, I don't seem to have made much progress.
Visibly upset. He was silent for a while.
As you wish. Of
Erastil?
course, it would be my pleasure. Erastil is one of the
Erastil.
eldest gods of Glorian. His faith emerged when the first people appeared upon the land. Erastil helped our ancestors cultivate the land and hunt. Even now, his blessing lies with those who uphold the old traditions and keep to simpler ways, far from civilization and the noise of the city.
Of their strengths, don't they? Citizens foster science, trade, innovation.
Tell that to the peasant robbed of all he owns, spending his night in the gutter, hoping to live to see the sunrise. You won't see such things in a village.
Yeah, I don't see point in arguing because it can work both ways. That way.
As you say,
A hint of grumpiness in his voice. What does Erastil demand of
the
his faith?
word demand does not befit the stag god.
Oh,
Honesty
it
and
does.
friendship, loving families, merry weddings, and newborn children in their mother's arms, they bring a smile to Erastil's face. He loves his people and rewards them with fortunate hunts and plentiful harvests. But he has no temper for sloth and vanity. He never bestows gifts upon his faithful without first measuring their worthiness. We ourselves must win our daily bread, but the stag god comes to our aid in times of need and strife.
I've always had respect for Eristil and
I see it more clearly every day. Erastil himself led me to meet you. Your keen spirit will serve you well. I am happy to help.
thank you for your story. We will see more later.